गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. What does Adhyatmic sadhana mean? What does spiritual practice mean? This is the question. Does it mean doing good to the world? Does it mean giving charity? Does it mean showing compassion? Does it mean doing puja? Does it mean chanting the Lord's name? Does it mean studying the scriptures? Does it mean giving the lectures? Does it mean organizing yajnas, etc., etc.? What does it mean? Does it mean, like someone yesterday told me, that they have studied the entire Vigyan Bhairav with 114 meditations, and over 8 months they have practiced all the meditations? Can one do that? Is it possible? Is that spirituality? Lord Buddha, he took only one meditation out of the Vigyan Bhairav and he attained nirvana. And this person says, I have practiced 109 meditations now, 5 more to go. It's an ego journey. Put your volume off, please. It's a ego journey. And then what is this spiritual journey? What is this Adhyatmic sadhana? We are not against this entire list that we told you. We are not against that. Scriptures are not against it. But we have to be very clear that spiritual journey means whatever you do or don't do, first one thing must happen, and that is body disidentification. If we are not getting body disidentified, then all that activity we have done in our life has gone to waste. And what does it mean to be body disidentified? To be body disidentified means wherein don't misunderstand that body disidentification is coming out of the body. In the language, this is the way we will speak. But what is it actually? Can you ever leave the body and move around? Some people do experience it. But from Adhyatmic point of view, what is body disidentification? It means remaining non reactionary, undisturbed, uninvolved in anything to do with the body, whether it is the five senses, whether it is likes and dislikes, whether it is hunger and thirst, whether it is comfort, discomfort, whether it is praise and insult. We are immune to everything that this world is throwing at us through the body. The body is responding to the stimuli of the world. Let it continue. We are not against it because it's natural. If eyes are there, they will see, they will illuminate the objects. If ears are there, they will hear. Tongue is there, it will taste. But body disidentification means, on account of this interaction between the body and the world, a owner of this interaction is not born. That I am seeing, that I am hearing, that I am thinking, that I don't like this, that I like this. I think I was born on this date and this is my past, this is my data, this is what makes me who I am. That data is about the body, not about yourself. So, yena kena prakarena, any way, which way you can, whatever works for you. And isn't it true that you experience the bliss on a daily basis only when your body disidentified, when you go to sleep? When you are in sleep, you don't know you are the body. You don't know you are the body. And that's why you are happy. See? So, body, senses, mind, intellect, they must not become the thoughts, emotions, they should not become a trigger for bondage. They must not become a trigger for reaction. They must not become a trigger for ownership. Now bring yourself to that point. Think about it hard. Invoke the grace of the Lord. And this can be brought about two ways, either through inquiry or through devotion. It can never be brought about by yoga, because yoga begins, I'm talking from beginning point of view, yoga begins with body identification. That's why you're doing the asanas, that's why you're doing the pranayam. Until and unless that yoga is not expressed or is not an expression of joy. Our problem is, whatever action we do, we crib, we complain, we are miserable. Why this is like that, why that is like that, why he said like that, why she did this to me. Body disidentification will be wherein you are present every moment. You are present every moment. You are not in the past, you are not in the future. Then what is happening? All activity, if this is the disposition, then all activity that is happening out of this body will be an expression of bliss, expression of joy. And this you all have experienced sometime or the other. And when there is bliss and joy, then there cannot be criticism, there cannot be bad language, there cannot be biasness, there cannot be judgment. Then there is no establishment or duality wherever there is bliss. You are living in this world of variety and duality. But because you are in the moment, there is no impact of the duality on you or the multiplicity on you. And you cannot stop, it happens. All we have to do is make sure every moment, whatever is expressing through us, is an expression of bliss. Not after I listen satsang, I'll be happy. No, you have postponed bliss. Listen with joy, speak with joy, or sit in silence in joy. This is the first part. The second part is so first was the Adhyatmic sadhana we are talking about, spiritual practice. The first aspect of it is body disidentification. And the second aspect, which was I was just started mentioning, was the dissolution of I, the annihilation of I, the melting of I. Unless and until these two things don't happen, and they cannot happen, first I will melt the I, then I will give up body identification. No. You have to melt the body identification first, then only you can work on the freedom from I. Majority of the people through yoga, meditation, etc., they are doing the sadhana of freedom of I. Freedom of I is with respect to whatever I is associated with, and therefore it is escaping from whatever it is associated with. Freedom of I will be body disidentification. But that's not the end of it. The next one is freedom from I. That this I, which is the owner, which is the thinker, which is the feeler, which is taking charge of everything, this I has to dissolve. Now do whatever is required to dissolve it. Actually speaking, nothing requires to be done. Why? Because if you do, then doer is born. If you think, thinker is born. If you feel, feeler is born. And who is thinker, feeler, doer? Again, precipitation of personality. It is ownership of that action. Ownership of thinking is precipitating the thinker. Ownership of feelings is precipitating the feeler, and so on. See, you have just this is the transformation that must, one click, that's all. You were not born as a husband. You accepted that you are a husband. You were not born a father. You accepted you are a father. What did you do to be a husband? All you got to is do the do the marriage happened, the girl came into your life or husband came into your life, man or woman came into your life, and from that moment onwards, after the Jaymala around our neck, you started accepting that you are the wife or you are the husband. Isn't it? So why can't you accept that you are the infinite? If everything in life you are accepting only, all we have to do is change the definition of this I. This I is not the owner. It is all that there is. And it doesn't require thinking to know that. Because it is independent. And that is my true nature. Just like I know you, I know the computer, I know Surendran, I can see my reflection in the computer. I can see the light, I know the light, I know this is a table, I know this is a book. Can I come to know I am me? Think. Can I know I am me? Because I am already me. So there's no question of I know me. But we want self-realization, self-realization, self-realization. We want to sit in meditation, meditation. Go into this exercise of meditation with this intention, with this angle. So two things, if we accept all our roles, those roles are miserable, I am never miserable. Or you say, I know everything in this world, I know my children, I know my wife, I know my past, I know that I'm going to sleep now, or I'm going to meditate now, or I'm listening now, I know. And it has become such a deep habit in our subconscious that when it comes to adhyatmic sadhana, there also we say, I want to know myself. Arey, how can you know yourself? You are already you. You are already you. Are you dead that you are going to know yourself? No, I am alive. Husband can never come to know the man. The wave can never come to know the waters. Then what it has to do? The husband has to give up being a husband. Instead of accepting himself as husband, he has to accept himself as the pure consciousness, or the man. And what? But no. What is the man? What is the man? He has to stop being the husband. And the moment he stops being the husband, man reveals itself. So in our case, stop being the individual. Individual is he who is creating a relationship and association with something or the other all the time. He owns the body, he owns the thoughts, he owns the emotions, he owns the past, he owns the future. Give up. Empty yourself. त्यागे नैके अमृतत्व मानशु न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन. It's not by doing meditation we will come to know ourselves. You are, that's it. For that, what you do? Live a dynamic life in poise, not a lazy life, not a complaining life. We sit in meditation, we do yoga, we do pranayama, we take name of the Lord, and whole day we are only bad mouthing other people. How can a person continuously engaged in satsang behave in that manner? Unacceptable. We are doing disservice to ourselves. So, accept yourself and know yourself. And when you come to know your, so accept what? Accept that you are other than the body. First step. Then who am I? So I am other than the body, body disidentification. Second part, then who am I? Dissolve all the roles, stop associating, or while in association, do not allow the association of what you are seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, thinking to precipitate into likes and dislikes, into ownership. Come back to the poise. Be the poise. Self is unattached. Self is self-existing. Self is not existing because you are thinking it is existing. Self is not existing because you are sitting in meditation, so it will reveal. Self is revealing all the time. But we have an obsession that we have to give lecture. We have an obsession that I have not understood yet. We have an obsession, I am almost there, little bit left. We have an obsession. And as long as we have an obsession with something or the other, self is far away. Our attention has gone to that particular exercise, that particular way of approach. Self doesn't require an approach. Self is. That's it. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarup. Contemplate in this manner. Keeping your back, neck and head in a straight line. Hands on your thighs or your knees. A happy disposition. Smile on your lips. The upper eyelids very gently sitting on the lower eyelids. Don't concentrate too much, don't put any force too much to think. Be in a happy disposition. Make a commitment to give up all thoughts of the past or future and come in the present moment.